Good morning. My name is Jacob Booth, and I am the Weird Christian Dude. Today we're going to be studying Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So in those four verses, verse 4 and verse 2 specifically, it refers to the sons of God. Those are angels. And it also talks about giants and mighty men, which are the offspring of angels and women. And that's a little bizarre for a lot of people to hear, but that's totally a thing that happened. It also says after that, because there was a time when there's the flood, and it continues to happen, and it wasn't just this period. It was an ongoing occurrence. If you are familiar with some of the Bible, the most famous of these giants was Goliath, and also Og, king of Bashan. So that is not a lot of information there of how it works, but apparently angels and women could have angel babies, I guess. I don't know. In verse 3, it says, Yet his days shall be 120 years. This comes up as having two meanings. First of all, the maximum age limit God is setting for people, because it says man, for he is flesh, the maximum age limit of 120 years. However, that's not retroactive, because at this point, Noah is already 500, and some of his children actually live longer than 120 years. But that's what it becomes. And how many people that are 120 have you ever even heard of? People don't live that long. They have not for thousands of years. So that's a limit that God set. Some people interpret this as a countdown to the great flood of Noah, which is in this coming up here. And it is not. Very specifically, that's bad math, I guess. We'll get to that. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man off the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created, from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. Sometimes people criticize God and say this question, why doesn't God just destroy evil? He did. That was his solution to the heart of man being evil continually, is just destroy it all and start over. But that is something that people don't realize, is if God destroys all evil, he will destroy you also. And that's not something that he wants to do. We'll continue. Verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So that's why. There was still someone good that followed God. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. That reminds me of Enoch, who was in a previous chapter, and how God still was present with the people that wanted to be with him. There wasn't any other laws at this point. It's just the be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. So that's subdue the earth. And other than that, it was just relationship. He didn't make up any laws yet. So without very strict guidance, people just go straight to evil. It's sad, but it's true. But no, it didn't. So that's one redeeming person on the earth. Verse 10. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come to me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. So, the 2 basic things that are anti-God are violence and corruption. It leads towards destruction. So it's just a natural thing that people recognize is contrary to what God wants. We have that in there, and Noah was following his conscience because that's all it was really to follow at the time. And God speaks to him directly, which is pretty amazing, and tells him, starting in verse 14, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in the cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with a lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. So God gives Noah the blueprint for the ark. And a cubit in this is 18 inches. It's specifically the length from fingertips to elbow. So that makes the dimensions of the ark 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet tall, with 3 stories, 1 tiny little window, and 1 door. So people have talked about this for a long time, and it turns out that in Kentucky, there is a full-size reproduction of the ark. It's called the Ark Encounter, and it looks amazing. I've only seen pictures, but I would really like to go and visit it. And people have asked what type of wood the ark was made out of. Gopher wood is really only referenced one time, right here, that I'm aware of. And it is either a wood that doesn't exist anymore because flood destroyed everything, or very likely cypress wood, because it is very resistant to rotting and it doesn't have sap. So it wouldn't leak, and you could make it into stuff very well. And then they pitch it to make sure water doesn't get in. So that is a likely option, but no other details are really given. And God doesn't micromanage how it's built. He says, no, build it. These are the things in 3 sentences. And then him and his sons make it. So verse 17. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under the heavens, and everything that is on the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. So that's a total of 8 people. And every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort, shalt thou bring into the ark, and to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come to the ark to keep them alive. So when it talks about every kind, that means like 2 dogs, 2 cats. Yeah, you. And that could very easily fit into the ark. Could maybe be 3 to 6,000 animals in total, which are not very big. And they could also be very young ones. You could have 2 children elephant instead of full-size elephants. And then not hundreds of thousands of species of things. So if you ever actually see the size of the ark, you will have a better understanding of how you could basically fit a zoo into a boat. Verse 21. And take thou unto thee all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it with thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so he did. Basically, God gave Noah the get out of a flood free card, except he had to do a lot of work. But God gave him a warning, and if Noah would have ignored God and just did what he wanted, he would have also been destroyed. And God would have started over with new people. But he didn't. Also, I'd like to reference Psalm 90, verses 10, where it says, "The days of our years are 60 years and 10, and if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet it shall be strength, labor, and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away." So the reasonable life expectancy of people is 70 to 80 years, and it gets harder. And that's accurate since after the flood until now. All right, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and you are always welcome to come and talk to me.